We will start in next maybe 2 minutes time.
Hello, parents. I hope you all are keeping well. It is said that the highest form of knowledge is empathy. Cognitive empathy, sometimes called as perspective taking, refers to our ability of identifying and understanding other people's emotions. You might regard empathy as an inborn trait, but it is not about who has it and who lacks it. In fact, it is about how we can teach our kids to recognize and understand other people's feelings and better navigate a situation. To empathize with someone, it is important to understand what that other person needs. And driving that feeling is a sense of justification that we feel the person concerned is deserving. Authority figures, media, society, and culture all play an important role in shaping up a child's attitude about individuals to decide if they are deserving of their empathy. So, empathy is not innate. It is rather something that consciously or subconsciously develops in a child with input from his surrounding environment. To be able to instill that trait in our kids, we need to upgrade our approach to positive parenting, a secure, sensitive, responsive, and pleasant space for our kids to confide because feeling other people's pain is not pleasant. It is a natural, self-protective behavior to push away from such a situation. But to rise up to emotional risk, children need to be taught to feel for others and be sympathetic helper. They should also be taught to constructively deal with their negative emotions. So, acknowledging these negative feelings and addressing them helps kids to feel more for others in similar situations. It provides them with a set of social skills that allows them to better understand themselves and others. In order to better relationship, be mindful for others and show kindness. They also tend to be less aggressive and more social. And as they say, anger is easy. Empathy takes patience. Let's adopt positive parenting techniques to better stimulate empathy in our kids and help them become better human beings.
Very good evening, our eminent panelists today. So, a lot of attendees have already joined, and I'm pretty sure we are going to have a very meaningful discussion today. And without losing more time, let me introduce you all to our panelist of the day. So all of you know, like we have initiated this initiative of I'm the best mom with attention to emotion. So I am working as the managing director of WEFA for India. My name is Diptiman Tripathi. And this motive of ours, bringing emotions to every child, every human. So the series is on. And the topic for today is attention to empathy for the children. So let's understand the emotion of the child and how best we can inculcate the empathy in children. And it has to be done at the early age, and how it helps from the esteemed experts today. I would request all the attendees to have their complete involvement. If you have got any questions to ask, please put it on the QA section, and we will be taking it at the end of the session. So it's a pleasure to have you, Dr. Anita Dawn, ma'am. Ma'am, you have completed your MBBS from Akola and with a MD in psychiatry from Amravati, with a postdoctoral fellowship in child and adolescent psychiatry, Vijayawada. And at present, you're working as the assistant professor at SMBT Medical College in Nasik and director at Little Mind Clinic in Nasik. Attendees see Dr. Dawn has conducted many parenting events, workshops for teachers, students on learning disorder and particularly child sexual abuse and childhood depression. It's a very important topic for this generation, and I'm sure today we are going to have a great learning through you, ma'am. And with this, it's also a pleasure to have you, Dr. Aditya Shoni. Uh, so, attendees, it's a pleasure to introduce you all. Dr. Amit Soni, currently working as the assistant professor at Mahatma Gandhi Hospital. He has completed post graduation in psychiatry. Dr. Soni graduated with distinction, a lot of accolades in his educational career, with a special interest and expertise in the neuropsychiatry. Believe me, every household has some of these challenges, probably headache, dementia, neuropathy, neurocognitive disorders, or maybe neuropsychiatry manifestation of general medical condition, psychiatry, depression, anxiety, traumatic stress disorder. So de-addiction is one of his forte, like where he has contributed a lot, along with the sexual wellness of the community. And having you both and the environment currently we are going through, I'm sure, ma'am, we and the attendees, and we are already live in our Facebook channel also, and we are looking forward to have a good session from you. So over to you, Dr. Anita.
Thank you very much. So first of all, good evening to all. Myself Dr. Anita. So am I audible? Okay.
Absolutely, you are audible.
Okay. So with the starting, I want to quote one quote of Dalai Lama, that love and compassion are necessities and not luxuries. Without them, humanity will never exist. Where compassion is to recognize the suffering of others and then acting on it. And empathy plays very important role in compassion. So I will share my screen.
Ma'am, if you can make it a full screen. Until the time I'm placing a question to the attendees, so that we can make it little involved to the attendees as well. So is empathizing with others is important? With children, adult? So yes, the answer is 100%. Yes, ma'am, over to you.
Yes, definitely. Everyone feels, and now this is like a propaganda of empathy, which is very essential for today's bringing up while bringing up our children. And yeah, in this generation, to develop empathy and to make them very social, to have pro-social behaviors, everything. So in everyday life, we feel that we should get heard by everyone and we should get some attention. So even Oprah Winfrey, who is a eminent interviewer and speaker, motivational speaker, she have interviewed many people, and she stated that everyone who has, after interview, everyone was asking that was it okay, was that okay. So everyone is like, they want to understand that am I getting, are you getting me, am I are you understanding me what I want to say, and was that okay, everything was okay or not. So this, they feel that connection should develop, and this is the basic need for humanity. So humanity develops with empathy, and thus we are here to promote or to encourage empathy in children, and so parents should give attention to the empathy. So in today's topic, I will discuss on what is empathy, what are different domains of empathy, importance of empathy, what is behind, what is the neuroscience behind empathy, the role of empathy in development, and components. So what is empathy? There are many research studies are going on empathy, and still there is no one definite definition. But this word start from Greek word empathesia, which means feeling into someone else. The empathy in simple term is to understand others' state of mind or emotion and to put yourself in another's shoes. So, by combining all the definitions, we can say empathy is capacity to recognize, to understand, to feel what another person is experiencing, and respond back with sensitivity. So there are four components: recognize, understanding, feeling, and then responding back. So to understand empathy, we have to distinguish it from sympathy, feeling pity, some emotional contagion, compassion, apathy, etc. So empathy and sympathy is very similar words. Many times they people mm, combine it, and but sympathy is very different. If someone is falling in lake or in a pond and going down, so if you want to help him, the person who is sympathizing with that person will ask him, will try to help him, but he will go into deep emotions of what he is feeling, and he will also fall down, like the picture I have shown. But empathizing person will control his own emotion, will understand what the person is going through, and he can better manage or help the person and act on it. Apathy is like, oh my god, why you are falling in the pond, like that. So we have to distinguish the empathy, and there are many domains. Particularly, many studies have quoted cognitive domain, affective domain, and motor domain. So where cognitive domain is like ability to appreciate, understand feelings of another, and it is more in part of thinking, where perspective taking and theory of mind ability is the main concept. Then affective empathy is what, it's the ability to share another person's emotional experience, and to feel that feeling. It is like, if you are sad, I feel that you are sad, and I am also, I can understand the depth of that sadness. That is affective empathy. And motor empathy is what, it's the ability to reflect the behavior of another person through your automatic motor act. Like for example, smiling when you are observing others are happy. You know that term that smiles can go miles. So that it means that smile is contagious. If someone, you see someone is smiling, you also start smiling. That is like a motor part of empathy. Or you can have somatic part, that which is when if you are seeing the dog is running over, then you feel, you show the flinching expression on your face. These three components, cognitive, affective, and motor, are main domains of empathy. And why we are learning this empathy, there are what is the importance. It has very important role in development of social skills, communication skills, in development of moral development. And I will go in detail about this developmental part later. Also, empathy is very important to make children more accepting and make them more respectful to others. Also, empathy is very important part in emotional quotient, to develop emotional quotient of the child. And this is there are many studies which shows that empathy plays very important role in reducing aggression, in reducing criminality overall. And there is one community, Life After Hate, where the criminal, they have studied criminals who came from the from their punishment, and came back, and they have been trained for empathy. So that empathetic training of their, they increases their empathy, improves their empathy, and they started living better than previous criminality thinking and all. So empathy can change someone's criminality, is that important. Also, it reduces abusive or hateful commenting online. This is very and it reduces cyberbullying. So these internet or online commenting on others whose account you don't know, and you are just commenting hateful thing, abusive thing to the others. This is very common behavior seen nowadays in adolescent children, which may be because of less empathizing, less empathy feeling towards other. So if you are improving empathy in them, it has studied that it can reduce the commenting. So what is neuroscience behind the empathy? Where it come from, and what is relation of empathy with your brain? So it is widely assumed that empathy is intense, innate mechanism. But is it innate? Is empathy inborn, or can be learned later? Yes, empathy is not inborn. It is learnable skill. Here, both words are important. It is learnable, which means if you teach someone, you train someone in a particular way, or to the kids in parenting, it can be learned, and it is a skill. It is not a character trait. So there are many models of empathy, two models of empathy, where it is related with the neuroscience of empathy. The first model is that empathy operates automatically and which develop early parts of development, and it is found in other wide range of animals. So this first part, that is automatic empathy, is what that comes automatically when you see some stimulus. For example, if you are seeing someone in pain, or some ball, someone got hit by the ball, and you automatically show some facial expression, your expressions will change, and that trigger, automatic trigger, motor activity or somatic activity is first part. And the other second part of empathy is very it involves controlled processing, and it developed later in the life, and which is unique to the human. And this second part is complicated more, and thus it needs more developmental milestones. They should achieve higher milestones. And this is a metacognitive part, which suggests that you can accept, or the perspective taking is easy, or you learn perspective taking from it. So second part is important in pro-social behavior, where there will be innate or internal motivation to act empathizingly, and to behave for social purpose or helping others. So this empathy is not only like character trait, not only skill, not outside thing. It is there in your brain. There is a mirror neuron system in brain, which consists of inferior parietal lobule and inferior frontal gyrus, which is responsible for understanding the behavior, understanding the emotions of other, and it leads you to feel that feeling. You and the meaning is exact same. You are mirroring the thing. Kids usually learn through the mirroring. We generally call it as observational learning, and this is very important in development of empathy. The other important area, there was one study which shows that if you are the children are exposed to people who are in pain, and they are observing pain of the pain or facial expressions of the person who are in pain, that evokes, or that stimulates the brain area of the children, where children are not in pain, but the pain area in the brain are stimulated in them also. So this is part of empathy. There are many studies conducted on empathy, related to aggression and empathy, related to personality and many disorders. But here I will enumerate some few studies, where one study suggests that empathy and aggression has too much relation. In aggressive people, there is less empathy, and in even there are children with callous unemotional trait, or we in general term we can call it as a antisocial trait. So children who shows this trait, they have less empathy or reduced empathy. There was one meta-analysis study and it documented that criminal offenders are low in empathy. So I already have told that that study, other study conducted after punishment has over, the criminals was trained in the in empathy, and they showed good behavior, pro-social helping behavior. And this study was, because this is validation of this study. The other research is that stress and empathy, stressful situation, or if you are in stress, it reduces empathy. And the therapies or trainings where the stress is reduced, or like meditation, yoga, or mindfulness, it can improve empathy. And very new studies are coming regarding development, artificial intelligence also. So artificial intelligence community has prioritized the development of empathic robot than normal, because, and they are using same mechanism like mirror neuron and neuroscience of empathy in developing that robot. So they are also understanding the importance of empathy. What is role of empathy in development? Now, development is very important, and during development, we can teach empathy to the kids. So it has a two-way role, that you can, there is a role of empathy in development of other skills of the children, and other is like for developing empathy, how parent should, or parental empathy will play the role. So first we'll discuss how empathy plays important role in development. We have seen, and many parents have experienced it, that if the baby cry, so crying of baby increases, or it will be more if he observes the other baby is crying. It is very common seen in hospitals as well. This behavior is first observed in babies. Then eye contact with mother while feeding, and thus in response smiling is also first step, initial steps of developing empathy. There is simple form, some simple form of cooperation can be observed in in the age of second year. So as child develop, the cooperation develops, and then later in toddlerhood, sharing develops. They start helping others, and this behavior of empathy, pro-social behavior goes on increasing. But some studies show opposite, that they show that in adulthood the empathy will reduce automatically. So there are many factors which can suggest, or which are responsible for either increase or decrease in empathy in adulthood. Like if a child continues to have experience of pro-social behavior or empathizing training, and then he will the empathy will increase. And if the child was empathy was having empathy and good pro-social behavior in childhood, but there was no further experience, there was no exposure to empathizing people, no exposure, social exposure, friends, relation, everything. So then maybe it will go again reduced in adulthood. Also empathy has role in imitative play. The imitative play like doctor or home, kids home, the dolls, uh, these imitative play also play important role in empathy, where imitation is original imitation of the person. For example, in doctor play, one child will play the role of doctor and another child will play the role of patient, where you have to go, if you want to develop empathy in that play, then the role should be exchanged, and the person who is playing doctor role, parent should observe the play and should suggest them the or modify the behavior of being doctor or being patient. For example, patient is in pain and doctor is not empathizing with the patient in that play. You can modify it by as a parent you can teach them how to empathize in the play. So imitative play is natural way, and also you can increase or improve it like a for developing or improving empathy. Also, empathy has role in social development. Empathy is strongly intertwined with social cognitive development such as perspective taking. The social skills are very important during development, and empathy plays very important role. Also, it play important role in communication skill, development of communication skills, problem solving skills, decision making skill, and emotional regulation of child, regulation of his own emotion, and moral development, and in turn, coping strategies. Parental role in developing empathy is what parent if parent are empathizing, so these two, bonding and attachment, both are very related with each other and very important in social cognitive development of the child further. Also, if one study has stated that mother infant synchrony is in first year of life is very important, and to develop empathy tendency in latter. If parents allow their children to express emotion by asking me more questions about the event, or if they allow validate children's feeling, they or help them to deal with the emotions in constructive way, then the child are more empowered or encouraged to develop empathy and regulate their own emotions appropriately. Also, sharing, if child is sharing something with a parent has to, or if they want to improve the empathy, we as a parent are responsible, and we has to talk with the child about our emotions. This sharing is play important role, and from that sharing it shows more emotional cognition and more empathy. It improves empathy. Children who had higher level of knowledge about emotions also had higher level of empathy. So teaching parent as a model, where many researches indicated that when children are offered materials, uh, reward for pro-social behavior such as small prize, they were less likely to behave pro-socially in non-reward context. For example, if child is having birthday and you are asking him to do some pro-social behavior, like donating something, and in response to or in reward to that behavior, if you are giving some money or giving in treat, like if we'll go to some hotel, then that reward will not play important role or not give the internal motivation to the child. And if the situations where there is no reward, they will not behave empathically. So giving rewards, and which are very rewards which are not social rewards, there will be the reduced empathy. They will not behave empathizingly in non-reward situations. So what should parent do? They should encourage them to engage in household and caring activities of daily routine. Also they can engage them in pro-social behaviors, and with parent they can also parent and child both can do some pro-social behavior, donation or anything. And also if child himself is doing something, then you can give some non material rewards. Means you can hug him, you can praise him, smile at him, or applaud him. So what are components of empathy? There are four components, as in definition I have said. First is perspective taking, where it means you are able, or the person can think what the another person is thinking, what is his attribute to the event, what he is going through. Oh, okay, 1 second. So what he is going through, staying out of judgment. Um, First is perspective taking, thinking about thinking of others, another's perspective. The other is staying out of judgment. If you are pre-judgmental or assuming someone that he is of that caste or whatever of personality, then that will be the barrier of your empathizing communication. And you while this is important component, while empathizing with other we have to stay out of judgment. Third important is recognize the emotion, that yes, recognize that person is feeling something and name it and then say it. And fourth is communicate. And we'll definitely try something out of it. So this this way you can express empathy. How to get connected with others? So we have like um, uh, empathy itself is stands numerical. Like E stands for eye contact. While having empathizing communication with other, there should be proper eye contact with the person. Then the muscle of facial expression, M stands for where we see the expressions, and then we observe and guess what he is going through, which feeling. Then posture, we observe the posture which is very timid or reflex posture or very open posture. Then affect stands for mood, expression of mood, where the person overall facial expression, posture, and what is it showing us, what it indicating us. Tone of voice, and if tone is low or high, then we can assume that what he is going through. And H stand for hearing whole person, means you have to just not hear what he is stating or what he is telling the another person, but you have to hear whole person, the story behind what he is saying. Like if he is saying that I am sad, you have to hear, ask him many questions about why you are sad or how you are sad, what is going behind it. And Y stands for your response. It should be usually reflecting response, means it should not be the reaction that yes, I know you are sad, so we'll do something for it. Don't be sad, like don't advise or suggest something or just state something. It should be proper sensitive response to the person and great person that he has or she has shared with you something. So in that aspect we need to understand empathic listening. There are in general there are types of listening. The primary type is that what another person is saying to you and you are listening. Secondary listening is what, that if person is saying that he is going through some event and you are listening or analyzing how he is going and what are the causes all. Third, tertiary listening is you are listening to yourself, means you are listening to him, you are analyzing what he is saying. Secondary. And in tertiary phase of listening, you also listen to you, that I have to go, I have baby, and he will cry, or that internal listening to ourselves is also important. So we have to focus on primary listening. And in empathic listening there are also verbal and non-verbal cues in listening. So we have to focus on non-verbal cues of also.
Well, this is what we could understand. So, what should be a parent response if their child does not have empathy for others? So, I would request the attendees, let us understand their thought process. So, are we going to blame the child for this, punish the child, or educate and the child about empathy? I think you have in your initial slide, and first of all, we could understand the importance of it. And empathy is something not like somebody is inborn with. This is a, as you said, the perspective taking, which we are referring as the ability of identifying, and this is an emotional trait. And when this is happening, how we can teach, how we can develop the habit of recognize and to understand other people's feelings. So this is more of a emotion. So I believe this is what the result is. 100% is saying yes. This is the time we have to educate the child about empathy to at their growing age.
So we have observed that there are types of listening. We have to focus on primary listening, and we have to focus on non-verbal cues in listening. And the third and most important is reflective listening. Should be practiced by the parents while talking with the kids. What is reflective listening? It is listening and restating the statement what the child has stated you. Means if the child is saying that I have gone through this event in my school, and if they are saying I was sad, that child was very angry on me or whatever, so that time you have to just restate it. Yes, okay, so are you were sad in school, so this happened, and that restating will again motivate the child to state or to tell you more things about the event. And then after reflection of the parent, you can better understand the depth of emotions of the child, and then go in like practicing empathy in the listening. Also, you have to be very careful to avoid all barriers of listening. Like, don't use your mobile while listening to the child. Don't be in your work on laptop or in the kitchen, particularly mothers. And you have to give very focused attention to the child while if he is stating you or telling you something. So, in itself, listening, empathic listening is therapeutic. Means it act
Right.
as the way of ventilation to the child, and it will help in developing more empathy also. So in conclusion, empathy is what makes us human, more human, and it is a basic need of humanity. Our mission should be to build caring, peaceful, and civil societies through development of empathy in children and adults. And empathy is a cornerstone of healthcare, social justice, and international relations. So empathy is, on broad aspect, is very essential in developing humanity and social connection. And thus, as a parent, as a teacher, we should practice empathy teaching, and it is very important. With this, I end. We can have question answer later. So we'll go.
Absolutely, ma'am. So, thank you so much for your presentation. And like being a parent, what we always feel like the children are growing. There are a lot of factors like where we do not have any control, and the growth of the children are a part of that. But the emotional trait, and I believe empathy is something which we need to develop while the children at a very early age. And very aptly you said one of the points which I believe every child who is these days like getting into cyber world and understanding, I mean, lot of exposure to the technology and bullying. There are a lot of negativities and around. But yes, we need to bring that vibe of positivity. So with this, I would request Dr. Aditya Soni, because his expertise on the domain is extremely going to be useful for us to practice also. And most of the parents are going through, and sometime we get an opportunity, and today we have the opportunity to ask the real challenges what we are facing while the child is growing, and how best we can bring that empathy. So over to you, Dr. Soni.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for your kind words. And I would like to start my presentation. I would like to start my presentation with the importance of empathy. How do you define empathy and what does it mean to be empathic? People and empathy of the population desire to be more empathic is 85%. Suppose if we have to choose one skill, for example, what if there were a single skill that could directly or radically improve our relationship and our emotional lives? Then the answer was empathy. As already told by ma'am about what is empathy and how it can be felt and how empathy is different from sympathy. Well, I would like to summarize empathy as an increasing dialogue in social organizations like in school, workplace, courtrooms, and governments. This empathy skill sets us apart from machines and even from many other animals. It's what enables us to relate to other people and their experiences, and it's what enables us to understand them and what they are feeling and what they are saying. And it's the word compassion. Whenever we encounter other people or other patients or whosoever is in trouble, then the most important thing to keep in mind and while talking is compassion. So we need to be compassionate with other, and that can only be possible if you are having the feeling of empathy towards opposite person. So empathy is not innate, it's learned, and like most other things, it's best learned during childhood. And I would say that when a child is of a toddler age, like for example for age of 2 years, then he should be start uh, to be taught for empathy. Why we need to create a culture of empathy? Empathy is yields kindness, because if you can understand what other person is feeling, that would make you kind, which is a quality most parents hope to instill in their children. And part of the source of the kindness is courage. Courage will stem out from kindness, and it will lead to stand up for ourselves and others. This kind of courage can be life changing for a child who is feeling isolated at school or being bullied but does not have the courage to stand up for themselves. Empathy makes us happier too. People with empathy have stronger personal connection and even more meaningful and supportive relationship. But it's not purely an emotional line or matter. Empathy is also an integral part of social and emotional learning. It is a skill worth learning and practicing. Plus, the more social and emotional skills students are equipped with, the easier they will find the social aspect of schooling and the more they will be able to focus on their learning. Finally, a strong sense of empathy can be the key of professional success too. This is because empathy drives thoughtful problem solving, as it allows to the empath to put themselves in other people's shoes to solve a consumer or client need. So it's clear that empathy is not just a positive personal quality, it's an ongoing beneficial life skill. So what challenges we feel? It takes time, it needs 100% of your attention. You tend to focus more on your self-esteem and your history with the person. All these factors are somewhere responsible for the development of empathy towards other person. And how do we teach empathy to our children? Traits of the highly empathic children are they are highly sensitive, they cry out when others are hurt or upset, they have a strong reaction to any situation or any painful condition when put into. Children learn empathy largely from their parents, but also from teachers and other adult role models. For young kids, both girls and boys, playing with baby dolls can be a great start to the process. By allowing them to simulate dressing, feeding, calming, and caring for babies, they learn to have a compassion for their dolls from a young age. Imagination plays a very important role here. Imaginative play helps kids to self-regulate and manage their emotions. When children play doctors or house, they solve problem in character, which means that they play a role and take empathy for a test drive. As in this slide, we can see that two people hugging, it means they are sharing a bond of understanding that can be very easily understood as empathy. We can define empathy by becoming in tune with them, looking for emotions in other people, and imagine yourself in others' shoes, like how it feels when we put our feet in other person's shoe. Not only in the social and emotional and professional life where empathy plays role, empathy also useful for negotiation in the job interviews, while customer services in teaching line also. 1 out of 10 people find that they are better person when they practice empathy, and 10 out of 10 people said they benefit from other people's empathy. So what are tips to become more empathic? Empathy is a skill that can be learned, and listen more than you speak. And don't be afraid to show your vulnerability. Don't make assumptions. Compliment a stranger. Read news that are opposite of your belief. Watch a documentary. Reach out to some other people. Go to a cafe alone and watch people. Ask someone how their day is going on. All these are tips to develop empathy in your daily life. Something to think about. You can only understand people if you feel them in yourself.
So I believe this is a process, and this not necessarily to be started at a specific age. But there is a very apt question to you, doctors. At what age we should teach the children about empathy, and by when they can also understand empathy?
We can start by the age of 2 years. And the child can start learning that and can start feeling that emotion by the age of 2 years.
Now, the current ongoing pandemic, the children are pretty much in indoor, and what is your experience is saying, because you have been now on a regular practice, is it going to affect their future or maybe the current time? Does empathy, like we have been very empathized to each other during this phase of life, being a family, and the world outside is pretty competitive. Do you believe like empathy will I mean, having empathy is good, but is it going to have a serious implication in their life in future?
Having empathy is good. Empathy and competition are these are two very different subjects. We cannot compare them on the same line. Competition has its own place. The one has to pass his competition and one has to stand for himself. But it's
Correct.
not like that. In order to stand, you cannot feel other people's emotion.
Correct. So, ma'am, what is your say on this?
Yes, empathy is definitely good to develop and improve. But if empathy is low, there, as I said, that if empathy is very low, then it can lead to more aggression, more criminal behavior. But it is not like 100% that your child will become criminal or what. But it definitely will have some behavior impact, that the child will be more uh, introvert, or he will not think about you, and suddenly he can give some reflections or reactions to you which can hurt the people, and there will be less pro-social behavior, we can say. He can be more less helping, and from the disorder point of view, I can say that there are very few disorders where the studies has been conducted, and the relation of empathy and autism has done relation of empathy and conduct disorders or antisocial personality traits has been done, where low empathy and the relation with that disorders has been stated. But it is very rare. In general practice, day to day life, there will be only some behavior change, that the child will not be that much listening to you, that much accepting or respectful in his life. But I will here I will put some one just I have seen one video where that kid has learned coding, and she was very enthusiastic to develop a app which she was planning, like the person who are needy for clothes or for daily for their daily routine or daily life, basic needs of life, and they have to put their needs or what they want in that app, and someone from NGO, or if you have extra clothes or extra whatever, you can go from that app, and the that app and functioning behind it will deliver that person the things to that person. So this helping nature, or the thinking of developing this type of app is coming from the kids, is itself is empathizing behavior, and improving empathy will have more such behaviors, more such thinkings, and will have more good generation further.
Right, ma'am. So with this, there is a question from for Dr. Aditya, if you want to take this. So what is the basic difference between empathy and sympathy?
Sir, empathy is suppose when there are two people, both have shoe of same size, and one keeps his feet to other person's shoe. Then what he feels in his around his feet, we can just compare that with our internal feeling. This is called empathy. But sympathy is something different. Sympathy is you are completely drowned in someone else's emotions, and you start feeling yourself these emotions, and that would be contagious to you. And that is something which can harm your personal life. So it's
So,
always good to have empathy.
so does it, will it be going to be harmful to be more empathizing? Let's say there is a child like who is too much into it, and there are children, and will it affect to their child emotional health in long run?
Empathy is never going to harm anyone, whether it's mild or it's very severe.
Okay.
What
So
you are
this
more severe empathy is not empathy, it will be
It will
sympathy
be
then.
considered as sympathy.
Yeah.
So that's what was the question from one of our attendees. Now, this is in reference to one of our previous session, but the question is pretty apt here also. In the last webinar, ma'am said, when the baby came to mother's womb, the feeling starts after a few weeks' time. And now it's wrong because these are all emotional traits. Probably we are teaching at the age of 2 and above, but the emotion, does the child start grasping it by himself or by herself, or is it because they also see in and around, it's in the environment, it's in the family, it's in the school, it's in everywhere. Now that also affect the child, right? And we are talking about empathizing is fine, but I think the most important people around here are the parents.
Yes.
So are we the best educator? We have to challenge ourselves. Have we learned how to empathize?
Yes, that parents should think for themselves that whether they themselves have learned empathizing with the child properly, and then only they can be model or idol for the child to have that strategy in their own life and inculcate it. Yeah.
Sir, there is a question: how can empathy be inculcated in a child with a conduct disorder?
So there are various therapies for this. If a child is having conduct disorder, then he is definitely having issues with other people, and also with issues in the schools while studying also. So for them, there are various therapies like the personal counseling talk session can be given. Then apart from it, there are therapies like play therapy. All these therapies help the child taking out of the absurd behavior.
I believe any more questions from the attendees, we can take it up. So what we could understand today, we need to upgrade our approach as a parent, and we have to be more sensitive, more responsive, and a pleasant space we have to bring to the environment. And yes, there are future threats if we do not, or if we are missing out this phase of life of the children, and which is well documented with the clinical trials, or we could see some of the reference which ma'am also quoted, sir, you have also quoted, and how it can increase the aggression. Adolescent is a phase, and the adolescent age of maybe the generation we are from or today are absolutely different. This generation, the generation alpha, are different. They are exposed to a different kind of world. The digital world, it's much bigger than what we have seen. So it is very important to bring and to create that emotional trait among the children. This is, nobody is inborn with it. We have to learn, and we need to educate the children with how to be more empathizing. Now, this is one of the last question we may take. How should we deal with a child is more sympathizing in keeping of thinking about others, putting others in the first than themselves? Is it too much of empathizing, more conscious? We all understood, Dr. Soni, you said empathy is always good. It will never harm to anybody. But
if he is putting himself in front of someone else, then it's okay, depending upon the situation. If the situation is not that harmful for anyone, then it
Absolutely.
can be considered as empathy. But if the situation is that harmful and he is ready to harm himself, then he is not feeling empathy, he is into sympathy.
Yes, definitely. Because empathy will allow the child to think himself about the problem solution, and this problem solving ability will, which is the important part of empathy, will also is the important part, and it helps the child to be safe or prevent himself from harming by the emotions of others. So that will be sympathy. The sympathy can harm, but empathy will not harm, and that's why we are differentiating sympathy and empathy and teaching empathy. Okay. So I would like to add that previous question. With therapy, we can also, in therapy we can add play sessions in which we ask child to solve problems, different type of problem, or we can give them the imaginary events where the child will think more about the event, think what the person or the kids going through in that event, and then they can solve the problem of his emotional state. The other therapy model is like storytelling, where you can tell story as a parent to the child, and from story you can evaluate whether he have understood the importance of emotions, or understood the or recognize what type of emotions the story hero was going through, and what he has done. And then you can ask child that if you will be in that place, then what you will do, means solution, what solutions you will, and then you can also read some novels to the child. You can ask them to have play sessions, imitative play sessions with the therapist, with parents, and like therapy will help the child in improving empathy.
आपला धंदा घेण्यात येईल.
Right, ma'am. So with this, I believe the parents have already raised their question, and we are very much available on the social media channel of ours. I'm the best mom, and I would request all the attendees and the other viewers, if you have any specific question to Dr. Aditya Soni or to ma'am, please feel free to put up there. We will be able to pass on your queries to Dr. Anita as well. So today's session, we may conclude here with a clear understanding, a positive parenting technique to better stimulate empathy. I think this is where we as parents need to learn empathy and how best we can give this to our children and help them to become a better human being. This is what our experts, Dr. Aditya and Dr. Anita, is sharing today. And more, you will be able to see it on I'm the Best Mom Facebook group. And I think there are some queries. Yes, ma'am, you all can join the group and be a part of our regular updates. And this is a platform where we are trying to do a lot of initiative for children and the moms with the help of our experts. So Dr. Aditya and Dr. Anita, thank you so much for your evening today. And I'm very thankful to all the attendees. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you so much.